All right, it is Good News Tuesday, and I have good news for you. Chris Abel is back again to talk tech and so much more. But first, we need to fix something, Chris.
Yes. So I'm Chris Abel. That's not to be confused with Mr. Abel, who is a creepy preacher guy on the Bell Media TV series Revival. So his full name would be Blaine Abel. I am Chris Abel. And yes, I know the TV series is about people coming back from the dead. And there are people who think of that, me too. But no. I've got nothing to do with that. But, anyways, here, have a listen to a clip.
The light happened deep in the woods, lit up the night sky in a flash. You were right there. You must have seen it.
Thank you, Mr. Abel. That'll be all.
So
I'm going to say that to you one day. Thank you,
There you
Mr.
go.
Abel. That'll be all.
And he actually appears, he does a radio show on the television series. So you can actually see Mr. Abel on the radio. Again, I'm Chris Abel on the radio, but we're not the same people. If you want to check out the show, it's called Revival. It's a Bell Media TV series, and you can stream all the episodes at ctv.ca.
Oh, that's nice. We didn't even pay Chris to do that to support the brothers and sisters over there. That's nice. Very good stuff. ABEL, KRISABEL. And if you want to connect with the real Chris Abel online, just go to realchrisabel.com and then the ats and all the socials, and you'll find Chris there as well. That's fun. Very well done, Chris. Very good. Some new ways to get around. And there's a guy in my neighborhood. I see him at the grocery store. He has a Segway wheelchair.
Oh, okay.
And so it's like a Segway, or it's kind of like one of the hoverboard type things, except it's a wheelchair. His wheelchair only has two wheels, does not have four. And he uses it to get around. And so I asked him in the grocery store, because he was behind me in line one day. I'm like, so tell me, is this thing easier? He's like, oh yeah, this is way better. But he has the mobility to shift his weight and do his things, right, that he would need for that. But we need to remember that there are so many new ways for people to get around.
There are. And so Toyota just unveiled a new prototype called Walk Me. And so this is a wheelchair, except instead of wheels, four legs. So at first, it kind of looks like a crab at first glance because all the legs are kind of close together. But actually, they're taking the design from mountain goats. So these are, it's a chair that's on a pair of four legs. The reason, because mountain goats are very good at walking along precarious little paths, going up sheer surfaces. And so, yes, this is not just a chair that walks around, but can actually go up flights of stairs. And the way that that does is with advanced technology. Again, we're getting into kind of the Segway stuff, where once you approach a set of stairs, the first leg reaches out and it measures the first step so that it knows that's the height of all the other stairs. And then as you go up the stairs, it uses LiDAR, this radar system, to be able to scan the stairs and make sure there's no obstacles. Maybe there's a toy that got left behind on the stairs. Maybe there's some food that somebody dropped, a banana peel. Well, then it'll be able to see that and navigate around it. It's fantastic in terms of it being comfortable. It can adjust for your weight when you're on board. And of course, it can take voice commands. So it's kind of interesting that you can simply sit in it and say where you want to go, and it's going to actually walk along the path to get there. It's not a replacement for proper power chairs, wheelchairs. They can't go that fast. It's not galloping like a horse. So you still need to be able to transfer into that if you want to go along streets and things like that. But the legs do fold up underneath themselves like a goat, so that the chair can be picked up and put into the trunk of a car, and you can take it to hotels and other places for meetings and office spaces. And so it's great in terms of just navigating all the different floors, and most importantly, it goes upstairs.
That's cool. I had a friend who had goats and they're rather misbehaved. He would come out in the morning, they would be standing on his car. So I would also guess that this walking chair is better behaved than the goats might be. Let me say this. Honda does all kinds of robotics. Interesting to see Toyota's name there.
It is. I've actually tested similar mobility devices from Honda. I've got video I can show you of me boogieing around using my weight, kind of like the Segway chair that you described. So yes, it's nice to see a different company coming into that space. So here we have Toyota. I'm really, really excited to see what they're doing. They showed it off in Japan. I'll be glad that it looks very advanced. So this might only be just a few years away, but often these devices are brought to Toronto for the auto show. I'm hoping that the Walk Me comes to Toronto, because I would love to try it out.
All right, Chris Abel is here. When you see wildlife being tracked, of course, you see like ear tags, collars, all the things, which is great if you're a moose. Easy to, well, hard to catch you and put it on. But once it's on, it's good. Uh, Imagine that kind of tracker on a butterfly.
Yes. I mean, obviously, it's always great to see somebody take a little tag and put it onto the ear, but with very light insects. So a monarch butterfly is just a gram in weight. So usually when they're tracked, at best, researchers will put a little tiny sticker on a wing, and then they hope that that monarch butterfly will be observed far away by somebody else and they can sort of track the movements. But instead, fantastic resources, countries have come together, scientists have managed to come up with a transmitter that is merely 60 milligrams in weight. I'm amazed by this because it is the equivalent of an Apple AirTag, and yet it uses a solar panel that's the size of a grain of rice. It still transmits using Bluetooth technology and actually acts like an Apple AirTag. Once you affix it to the back of a monarch butterfly, as it flies around, it's going to connect with various networks, including people's smartphones. So as it's traveling, monarch butterflies have, of course, the greatest migration in the world. They travel from Canada all the way down to Mexico, and then eventually through multi-generations will come back up to Canada. It is fantastic. It's a wonderful natural phenomenon, but the hard problem has always been trying to learn what is happening with the butterflies through that massive journey. And so finally having little tiny transmitters that can be affixed to the back of a monarch butterfly's back and is light enough at 60 milligrams that it's not going to tamper or interfere with the monarch butterfly's flight, that's wonderful. They actually released a bunch of butterflies, 400 of them, from the Great Lakes area here. And already they've had butterflies starting to land in Mexico and have given them all this detailed high definition tracking details. You can see the actual courses. In fact, there's an app where you can download. If you want to follow this, you can actually follow it online yourself.
Oh, that's cool. I try to imagine someone's trying to like stick the thing on it. It's pretty cool. Tiny, tiny, tiny. Chris Abel is here. One last touch here before we're done. It's a tech one.
Yes, Android users, guess what? Google released an update. And so now the ability to be able to share wirelessly files. So you think of photographs and videos to somebody else's phone. Typically, it's always been Android to Android and iPhone to iPhone, and the two do not mix. But thanks to this latest update, Quick Share on an Android can now detect and connect to the Apple version of it, and now those people can connect back and you can share files back and forth between each other. In fact, Android can go to all the different Apple devices.
That's
and
what I
all
was
the
thinking.
Apple devices can work back with Android. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
like if you have a Mac and an Android, you couldn't share files quickly and easily, and that sounds like you're going to be able to.
Well, it's just wonderful to have Android and iPhone connecting and sharing something. We'll wait and see how Apple responds, whether they're going to allow that to continue. There's nothing that has to have changed to make this possible on Apple's side, so all they have to do is just do nothing, but we'll see how Apple responds.
It's interesting, hey? It's such a like a chess play of all things. It makes me always think of VHS beta back in the day, and you'd hate to have a loser like that because let's be honest, the good one lost, right?
Always. That's been the case. You know, HD DVD was actually superior to Blu-ray, and they lost. Beta was better than VHS. So let's hope that in this case, both sides can continue to get along.
All right, he's less creepy than the online character from Revival, Blaine Abel. Chris Abel, the very real, very much here. Follow him on Twitter at RealChrisAbel. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Thanks, Chris.
All right, take care, guys.
Shane Hewitt and the Night Shift Tech Talk for you, leading into what is Black Friday, and then next week more tech for you. Same time, same date. We will dig into it.